No bullshit.
We're live. Facebook. TC Backus. We just over here dodging 2022's attempted haymakers here, man.
That's right.
That's what this year's about. Adapt, overcome, and excel. What is that noise?
That is my dog choking.
Adapt and overcome,
Well,
bud. Adapt
hey,
and
hey,
overcome.
listen. At least we know the microphones are working because he's about 14 feet away from me right now.
Oh shit,
Hey, Jana, would you like to make a guest appearance and come and get your dog?
dude. This is still no better.
Really? Jana said she hears Cooper.
Just working on the other screen, bro. Oh shit. What the hell, man? Dude, it was literally just working in our test. So then we go into this one and it doesn't work. That's so frustrating, bro.
Yes,
It's so
yes, it is.
frustrating.
Well, we have 9 people watching. David Bruno, we got Jana, we got Chris Baker, Tony Sen, and Brittany Butler. We appreciate your support. Even though you can't hear Chris right now, but I can. So, Chris, if there's any message that you would like me to relay to our loyal fans that are watching and listening at this point in time, by all means, let me know what that is.
Just tell them that it's the bastard Dane's fault.
Maybe I shouldn't say that. So,
Don't say that.
that was a whole lot of beep, 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 beep. So, anyhow, on to the next topic, Chris Baker. Chris Baker would like me to share with you guys that he appreciates your loyalty in hanging out and watching us try to figure this out. So, stay tuned.
I'll just leave it like this. While you're making good points, that way they know that I agree with everything that you're saying.
Hey, Glenn, thanks for watching, buddy. That's not always a bad thing. Not being able to hear Chris. That ain't right.
That's not right.
Nope, that's not right at
We're
all.
supposed to
But
be building
anyhow,
each other up in 2022.
that's right. That's what it's all about, Glenn. Glenn, you just went against the moral code. So anyhow, we got 13 viewers. We appreciate you guys tuning in once again with us. We're still having technical difficulties. We use a system called OBS and it crashed, and we thought that we had fixed it, but for some reason, it's not working. So I think Vic is going to continue to mess with it for a little bit. We'll give it probably another 5 to 7 minutes if we can't get it. Unfortunately, we are going to have to hit you guys back up next week with episode 107. We actually have some really good guests next week and the week after that. So you guys must tune in. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience tonight. I know you guys look forward to watching us every single week as we're excited to be able to entertain you guys every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. with Behind the Tool Belt with Chris Baker, Victor, and myself. Unfortunately, we just can't seem to get it together tonight. Maybe it's the cold temperatures that we keep the studio at. I'm not sure. Maybe there was some kind of update that we didn't know happened behind the scenes, but I know Vic is probably pulling his hair out behind the scenes at this point in
Yeah.
time. So,
Ty, it's coming
yeah,
the other way again, bro.
is it coming the other way?
It's coming the other
So,
way.
if anyone knows Vic and who Vic is, Vic is real particular on which way his hair's combed. Well, when he starts to get stressed out, it starts to go the other way. So, at this point in time, I can only imagine what it looks like. At least he did get a haircut. When I saw him earlier today, his hair did look washed. So, he must be doing those cold showers. So, applaud to Vic for taking showers,
It's golf clap.
cold showers,
Golf clap. I don't want to
golf
get too
clap,
close to the mic
right?
so they can hear me.
Right. So I do appreciate everyone tuning in and being patient with us. We will figure this out. I mean, this is what happens when you go live. You know, this is live. It's genuine. It's authentic. Shit happens. Hopefully, it's not horrible shit. Hopefully, we don't end up saying something that's horrible or sticking our foot in our mouth. And honestly, if this is the worst thing that happens to us, after all of these episodes, I feel like we're doing a really great job. So, Vic, don't beat yourself up. You know,
Right.
it's all good.
This is good for the motto of 2022, Ty. And if you just want to kind of let the viewers know my input and spin on this, 2022 is going to be about accepting the challenges and overcoming them. You know, you guys are doing the
Right.
Fearless 44. Adapt and overcome. You know what I mean? This is just a
Yeah.
bump in the road. We'll figure this shit out. You know, we'll be coming strong again next week.
Absolutely.
And it is what it is. You know.
Yeah.
Stuff
Yeah. So
happens,
Chris had a good
unfortunately.
point. Yeah. Chris had a good point. You know, one of our biggest goals moving into 2022 is overcoming adversity. So if we can't handle something like this, and if we get frustrated at ourselves or mad at ourselves or mad at other people with things that are actually out of our control right now, then we're not working on ourselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if we can't laugh at ourselves right now because of some little hiccup that is totally out of our control, then I mean, could you imagine if something major really happened?
Right. Right.
You
Poor
know,
us
so
right now. Our podcast isn't
yeah,
working at the moment. You know.
that's
Poor
right.
us.
Fancy problems.
So.
Poor Chris, Ty, and Vic, their poor little podcast audio has gone bunkers. Damn it. Damn it, Vic. I'm so frustrated with Vic right now. I hope his hair is folded over to the other side. I'm just kidding.
Well,
I'm
he's
just
fixing it
kidding.
right now. Oh, that's good stuff.
Janice said we could hear you a little bit.
Yeah, very little bit. Which
Very
is
little bit.
weird, man, because I'm a loudspeaker too. I'm not a quiet person, and in studio right now, I can hear myself through the audio.
I figured it out.
Wait, can they hear me now?
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Uh-oh.
It's probably going to work right
course
now.
it's
Now that
gonna
we're
work,
trying to sign off with our
You hear
broken
Baker
stream.
now? Okay. We can hear you now, Baker.
Hey, sorry about it, Glenn. You're going to have to listen to me tonight after all, buddy.
Much better.
You sound like Darth Vader.
I do. I sound like Darth Vader. Bummer.
Look, you're confusing your
Uh-oh.
camera all up and don't know which one to look at.
No, it doesn't. Janice said I sounded like Darth Vader.
All right, so anyways, thank you guys for, always sticking it out. We got 15 people up in here right now on our
Yes.
second attempt here.
That's great.
Sometimes technology, it's weird. Right before we went back up and running on this second attempt, we did a test stream in a private group that we had, and everything was fine,
Right.
And as soon
Yes.
as we switch over to this one to go live on the public stream, it wants to
Yes.
not work again. So it's just computers. But like Todd was saying, if we're going to allow this to get us down and define, our attitudes and our outlook on this, then we really got some self-reflecting to do. So we
Yes,
got a
for
lot
real.
of good stuff to look forward to, and a microphone not working is not going to be something that I'm going to let define me. So
No way.
so
Not
yeah,
even remotely close. So we're getting a lesson in patience and tolerance, I guess, right out of the gate. Episode 106, man. Think about that. And this is probably our second or third, probably our third time that we had a hiccup. The one time we totally lost power, but came back with a generator. I think, was it David Tagger or Deshaun that we had a little audio issue with? Which
Deshaun.
was our most recent one, and then of
Yeah.
course tonight we're having a little bit of a hiccup. But I mean, like you said, if we let something like that get us down, then why are we even doing this for real?
Right.
So I'm grateful to be here. I know Chris, you're grateful to be here. We appreciate everyone, hanging out with us and listening to us probably drop a couple F-bombs and all that good stuff. But we really appreciate you guys. We couldn't nor wouldn't want to do this without you guys. So thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, they definitely didn't hear none of my F-bombs, bro.
Did they?
Nah, dude, they didn't hear none of my F-bombs. I was dropping them, but they couldn't hear them, unfortunately. I was hoping
Yeah.
that was going to be the thing. Remember when you could smoke at the dinner tables at restaurants? And it used to be like if you were getting really hungry, you get someone to light the cigarette because that would mean that your food's going to come out in the middle of that.
Absolutely.
So I was trying to drop some F-bombs because I'm like, well, maybe if I do that, the mic's just going to work and pick that up. You know what I mean? A little reverse psychology there, but shit didn't work.
Yeah.
Should do.
Right. Did Vic delete the first one, or is that one still up?
I think we deleted it. I think.
Okay. If
Possible.
not, don't worry about it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not stressed over it. So anyhow, how was your day today, Chris? I guess let's start there. Let's start with
It was,
how your day.
dude. It was great, man. We were able to get the guys down into Maryland for the first time with like a full day that I didn't really have any restrictions on what we did. For anyone that doesn't know, the Delmarva area, Maryland, Virginia, Delaware, got smacked with a snowstorm this morning, or not this morning, earlier in the week, the beginning of the week.
Yes.
And down in that southern Maryland and Virginia and Delaware area, man, you put 6 to 8 inches of snow on the ground, and these people just don't know how to act. So up here, we're a little bit more used to it, but down there, it's like it completely changes the game. So we were able to get some guys out and getting some stuff taken care of. Perfect timing after 2 holiday weeks, where we got short weeks as it is, and you smack a snowstorm in there. So it was busy. It was busy and stressful, but that's how we operate our best.
Yes.
Just like this audio issue, we don't let that define us. We adapt and overcome. We figure it out.
Absolutely.
We got the paving underway. Shout out to Wells, Richard Wells for hooking us up with the paving in the parking lot. So we're gonna have a parking lot finished by the end of the week here. We got new service vehicles that we dropped off at Image 360 at the beginning of the week, and they're nice. We got to drive a whole fleet of them over there Monday morning. I think it was Monday morning. Was that Monday morning? That was Monday morning. So we dropped all them off. So pretty soon here we're gonna have 7 new vehicles all wrapped on the road that you guys will be able to see us on. 8 new vehicles.
I had Glenn actually go pick one up on Tuesday.
The dump truck. That's right.
Yeah.
2022 so far has been pretty freaking good, man. Pretty freaking good. What are you getting yourself into down there at fishing camp, man?
Fish camp. Well, I thought I was going to get some time to re-spool my reels and get some oil and clean them up, but I haven't had much time to do that. It seems like the time is going by entirely too quick for me because today's already Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday. I plan on coming back on Saturday, but so I spent the first Monday shoveling. Poor Ty had to shovel because I don't have a snow blower or any snow plows here. Spent half the day on Tuesday doing some more shoveling because of my 90-year-old neighbors were showing me up on how to shovel snow. So Monday night I was shoveling snow, so I did a real big path, for the dogs, and a path here and a path there, and a little bit around the vehicles. So by Tuesday afternoon, I go outside and I see all of my 90-year-old neighbors out there, and they got like their entire driveway shoveled, their decks are cleaned off. I mean, just everything. So I felt some kind of way about that. I figured if a 90 or an 80-year-old man or woman can shovel that much snow, that 45-year-old man should be able to get out there and do that. Which I also felt bad that I didn't go out and give them a hand. But anyhow, I got to spend some time today with Jim and Jen and trying to duplicate what we do, in Pennsylvania and Maryland. Just trying to duplicate the same exact thing here in Delaware and Virginia. And I think Jim finally had like an aha moment.
Yeah.
Right, just trying to explain to him about the clock in, clock out, and how to assign service techs, and just keeping up with the calendar on the production end of things. So Jen and you and me, Chris and me, will be having a little powwow tomorrow. Yep, Kim, that's right, at 5:50. So so there's a lot of good stuff, man. I really like it down here. Sometimes just a change of scenery, and fresh air, because the air down here is real nice. I'm by the ocean, by the bay, and the air alone, I think, and the different scenery just helps me clear my mind and come up with some good thoughts. I've been jotting a lot of things down for our Monday morning meeting when I get back with the sales department, and then for our big business meeting on Tuesday. I also have some plans, some things to talk about, moving forward into 2022. So it's been real good for me to relax and just spend some time, with Gianna and no kids. I got the dogs. My 15, 16-year-old dog is over here breathing. So if you hear some heavy breathing,
It's not a fan.
yeah, it's not a fan. It's not a fan. Stalking me. It's my 15 or 16-year-old dog over here. That's my ride or die and just won't leave my side. So nor would I leave him without him. I mean, he's looking at me right now. But anyhow, I'm having a great time. We finally got shoveled out. I should probably invest in a snowblower down here. But I mean, things are great, man. Things are great. We got the Fearless 44, and what a great way to start the Fearless 44 too. In a different atmosphere, I can get my head right. I can get my body right, and practice on growing my legacy. I actually looked up what the word legacy meant today, because I mean, we all have like an idea of what a legacy is, right? I mean, it's kind of the message that person had left behind. But I looked it up, and there were several different types of not abbreviations, but definitions for it. So the one that I came up with, it basically says, the mark that an individual left on the world. It is about the richness that the individual's life, including what that person accomplished and the impact he or she had on people and places. Ultimately, the story of a person's life reflects the individual's legacy. So, to put that in perspective, and Chris, we've talked about the ripple effect. I mean, that's what the ripple effect is in a nutshell.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, the word legacy means, basically that in a nutshell is I would probably say the same thing. But more importantly, I just want to stress, at least in my eyes, somebody that has never met you in their life, when you're no longer here, what would they say about you? You know what I mean? Somebody that doesn't know you, that doesn't spend every day with you. Like, obviously, my kids, my girl, the people that are closest to me, my family would always, know the most intimate things about me. But, that's not necessarily your legacy, I wouldn't say, because I feel like that, of course, you're going to have a lasting impression on your loved ones and the people that you spend every day with. But what about the people that you don't spend every day with, that don't hear word for word every good idea you have, every failure you have, every struggle, every success. So, the important part to me, and Todd, me and you talk about this a lot. What integrity is. Integrity to us, how we define integrity, is how you act and the actions you perform when nobody is looking. You know what I mean? When you don't believe that there's anyone looking. Let's just throw that out there. When you don't believe there's anyone looking, do you pick the piece of trash up? Do you, hold the door for somebody? Do you, that kind of stuff?
Good point.
Put the cart away at the grocery store. That's a big one that just sticks in my mind. I know it's kind of weird, but. Are you one of those people that leave the cart in the open parking spot next to you? You know what I mean? Or
That's
do you
so
walk
crazy you say that.
Do you walk it 10 feet across into the cart area? You know what I mean?
Listen, I couldn't get my big ass cart that I had from BJ's today. We were talking about I had a 3-hour tour at BJ's this afternoon, and it's funny you say that because there was so many carts that were, and it bugged the shit out of me, so that people couldn't even like push them together enough for me to get my cart in there. So it was like I reorganized the entire cart hut or whatever that thing is where all the carts get collected. I didn't have to do that. I could have just left the cart right outside like everyone else did, but I just kind of thought like, dude, like push it 2 more feet. So it connects into the other one, not only for other people to be able to put their carts in there, but for the guy that's got to come and grab the carts.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean that's a little bit like cash register honesty, but God, that's just how hard was it?
Right.
And I didn't
That's
do it because I thought people.
That's what it is. It's integrity.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
It's so much easier for you to just say, screw it, and just set your cart next to the pile or whatever, But It's those random acts of kindness, and I don't even want to say kindness because I don't I don't feel that you should get rewarded for something for how you should just be acting as a humanitarian and a human being on this earth. You know what you contribute to society when people aren't looking. You shouldn't get an award for that. You know that's just how people should be.
Yes.
But you know, it's the random acts of kindness and the things that you do when people aren't looking or no one's keeping score. You know what I mean? That's what
Yes.
really matters, man. And hopefully through this 2022 journey that we're going to take, you know, we can get more people on board on that. I know here at TC Backer, there's a lot of the guys. When we say, you guys hear us say sipping the juice and drinking the juice. You know that's part of it, man. It's in our core values. You know, integrity is in our core values. I believe our guest last week asked us, you know, if we could define our company in a word. I think the three of us right away said integrity. You know what I mean? Is you know one of the top defining things, and that's just not as a company. That's just as a human being. And you know, with the Fearless 44, Ty, you guys are doing this thing. You guys are doing self improvement, working on yourself. That reflects directly into everything that you do. You know what I mean? If you're a shithead personally, you're going to be a shithead in business. You're going to be a shithead friend. You're going to everything. You're just going to be a shithead, right? I mean, if you have integrity and you practice what you preach on a daily basis, that reflects and that overflows into your business, your relationships, all that kind of stuff. So I think it's great that you guys are doing the Fearless 44. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was a chicken shit and I didn't do it. I'm going through the whole trying to quit smoking cigarettes thing and doing a couple personal things that I'm doing myself. And I was like, I'm going to work on that and I'm going to let these guys do this challenge over here while I do my own personal thing. You know, but I absolutely love it, man. I'm since you invited me to the group, I get to see what's going on. And I get to see all the posts that are inside there for 30 days, I believe. So after 30 days, I'm going to get cut off. But while that's going on, I mean, you know, watching Jana, you know, watching Vic, you know, people that aren't necessarily used to being on the live streams, and some of the other guys that are in there that I don't know personally, but you can just tell, you know, they're camera shy, and you know, you guys are up to day 5, 6, some of you guys even more than that, and you can just tell the difference. Like watching Jana today, she just did one right before we went live. You know, watching her today, dude, it's leaps and bounds different from day one. You know what I mean? And like, that's also going to be cool that she'll be able to go back and reflect and see, you know, on day 45 after the 44 days is over. She goes back and watches day 1 and compare that to day 44. Like the change and the confidence boost and all that kind of stuff is going to be awesome. So I think it's a really good thing you guys are doing.
No, I love it, and you said a lot of stuff. You know, Ben's included in the Fearless 44, and he's doing a great job too. And we haven't spoke much since I've been down here, but I've been watching his videos, and you know, he's been a great influence. You know, also in my life, and it's like Derek just posted in here. He said, "Want to be a millionaire? Hang with a millionaire. Want to be a bum? Hang with bums." Okay, and that's so true. It's like, you know, if you hang out with a bunch of shady people, you're just gonna start acting like a shady person. I mean, it just you get absorbed by it. If you hang with winners, you're gonna be a winner, and that's what we've really tried to develop. You know, at least for me, you know, it's just like Jana talked. I think it might have been today or it might have been yesterday on her live feed. You know, and I'm very proud of her for doing that because she's willing to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Okay, like she's drinking the juice. You know, she wants a part of it, and I know long enough. If you hang out with us long enough, you're gonna just naturally start drinking the juice. But everybody, there's, for whatever reason, I've been hearing, you know, things along the lines of what Derek is just saying right there. It's kind of like, you know, I don't want to go to Crazy Town anymore today.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to hang out with guys like Chris Baker and Vic and Jana and Ben and the John Stauffers of the world. You know, the guys that think the way that we do, and all we really want to do is watch other people succeed. We want to pick people up. You know, give them, whether that means giving them a second chance. You know, we recently brought Meathead back. We gave him a second chance, and there's many people that we've brought back because you know what's crazy is I talked to a gentleman today who's owned his own business for 2.5 years, and he's just not. He's not. It's actually happened to me twice today, but you know he's asking me for advice. You know, how do you do it? So I took 10 minutes out of my day today and explained to him, like, look, this is what you're going to have to be willing to do early on. It's not going to be given to you. You got to earn it and you got to practice it. You got to get up earlier than everyone else and you got to stay later. And unfortunately, that might mean you might miss some of your family's functions. You might have to cancel doctor's appointments. Early on, it will not come easy, unfortunately. And we say this all the time. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. And same with integrity, same with honesty, same with loyalty. These are all things that we have to practice on a daily basis. It doesn't come natural for us. Why? Because we're fear-driven people. Whether if you know it or not, I'm going to give an example but that was told to me a long time ago that resonated with me. Okay, say you're in your car and somebody cuts you off and they almost hit your car. Your initial reaction is, oh my God. But then 2.3 seconds later, you're filled with rage. Okay, but where did that rage stem from? Fear.
Right.
Why? Because they almost hit your car. They almost ran you off the road. Okay, so when that was explained to me that way, then it opened my eyes to realize why I wouldn't do certain things or why I did certain things. And really, when it comes down to like insecurities, low self-esteem, and all of those things, if you really think about where the root of all of that comes from, it's from fear. Okay, and unfortunately, with some people, fear paralyzes them. Okay, it allows them to make poor judgment, allows them to make poor decisions, or not even make a decision at all. Okay, so what sucks about that is when you get stuck in that hole of fear, it's like, you know, you can't excel in life. You know, you allow fear to control you, and that's where I've really have dove into, you know, being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like, I can't say that enough. I can't say that enough. It's almost like we need to have a you know, a plaque,
Yeah.
you know, somewhere, or add that to our core values, because I mean, it's so true. It's so true, Chris. I mean, on a daily basis, I'm sure there's uncomfortable phone calls that you have to make,
Bro, you have no idea.
right?
You
Wait,
have no
and think
idea.
about it.
And you
Right.
do. You
Think
do
about
have
it.
an idea. And I'm not
do.
saying that because if there's anyone on this freaking earth that understands how I feel some days,
Yeah.
I know it's you.
Yes.
Because you did everything that you
Right.
hire us to do now. You've done yourself all at the same time. You know what I mean? That's what separates
Yes.
the men from us. From us
Right
guys,
on,
you
man.
know what I mean?
That's where the rubber hits the road, right there. You know?
Yes.
But think about it. Okay, so you're scared,
Right.
but you don't allow that fear to control you. You pick
No.
the phone up, you make that uncomfortable phone call. We're not going to make it today.
Right.
Or whatever the case might be. But would you rather have someone upset with you for 5 minutes or for 5 days that you blew them off and you finally show up?
Right, right. And the big thing is, man, it's the lasting impression when you let fear control you. So if you continue to make decisions like not making that uncomfortable phone call, not confronting somebody that you need to confront, because part of why our team works so good is because we hold each other accountable. We're willing to say the things to each other that some people may be uncomfortable saying to each other. But that's how we grow, and that's how we know that we can rely on each other. Because I know if I'm not doing my damn job, somebody's going to tell me about it. You know what I mean? And that I don't want to call that fear, but just that respect of knowing that I'm letting my brother down, or somebody else isn't able to do their job. That allows us to not be controlled by the fear. You know, and like
Right.
you said,
Of
sometimes you
course.
just got to make that
Yeah.
decision.
It is fear. That is fear. A fear of letting your brother down or your
Right.
sister. You know what I mean? That is fear. And it's like, and then half the time when you make those phone calls, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's nowhere near as bad as you thought it was going to be.
No. No, not at all. It's nowhere near as bad as getting something from somebody. Because I remember when I took this position over, there was, the couple people that sat in my seat before me didn't do my job very well. And my word meant nothing to them at that point. When I first came in, I could tell them we'll be there tomorrow all I want, but they didn't believe me until we were actually there. You know what I mean? I'll never forget this, Tyler. Do you remember when that one supervisor called and said, your word holds no weight? Do you remember that? I don't even remember who it was, but I remember those words specifically, and I was like, you know what, man? Like, this is what happens when, we always say consistency, be consistent, be consistent. This is what happens when you consistently fail and you consistently let fear control you and you don't make that phone call. You know what I mean? That's what happens. That has lasting impressions.
Dude, and think about that ripple effect.
Right.
Now you put fear in them.
Right.
I have a schedule I have to meet. Oh my God, I have to call them to schedule it, and I know they're not going to be here on time, so I can keep my schedule.
Right.
So think about that for a second, that ripple effect that you're creating. Now, fortunately, you've been able to turn that around and have made it a positive ripple effect. So when you do call someone up and say, look, we can't make it today, it snowed for 2 days, or we're backed up because of the holidays, they take your word for it.
Yeah.
Your actions, your past actions has spoke louder than your words.
Right. And nowadays it's just hey, it's cool.
Cash.
Right. Hey, it's cool. Have a good holiday, man. You know what I mean? That's
Absolutely.
A lot of times they don't even get frustrated anymore. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. So and you can take that in anything in life, especially with the way you guys are going with this Fearless 44, man. I know that there's a lot of people that are making these videos that I can visibly tell that they're very uncomfortable. You know what I mean? You can tell by their language, by their body language, by the words they're using. They're very uncomfortable. But just a week into this thing, man, I can already see people coming out of their shell more. People already coming on knowing exactly what they want to talk about. Whereas before it was like, people are starting videos and they're like, oh God, I got 2 minutes. I got to get this over with. What can I say for 2 minutes? You know what I mean? Just to get it over with. But dude, it's great, and I think it's going to do great things for a lot of people that are doing it, man, for sure.
Yes.
I'm excited to see all of our team members doing it.
Yes.
I don't know how many we have. I think we got four or five people doing it.
Four or five.
Yeah,
I
just
haven't
from our
seen
team.
David KX in a couple of days, but I do know. I give him an E for effort because, I didn't explain to him exactly what it was about, but I know the first video that I saw of his, he was like, look, anytime I'm challenged, I accept the challenge. You know what I mean? And for him to step up, suit up, and show up and do that, dude, as well as I do, that man has never hit that live button on his phone.
Oh, I know it. For sure.
Dude, there's no
sure.
way. I mean, any of us could say that. And same with Jana.
Right.
Or Vic, what, was that maybe your second or third time, Vic, that you might have hit live on your phone? So, I mean, it's definitely brought a good many people, and John Flash have, and Ben, I can't speak for Ben, but I don't think I've ever seen Ben go live either. With John Stauffer, all of you guys, like, thank you so much for going on this journey with me. And then to circle back to, one of the major reasons of why we're doing this is because we're trying to create awareness for, child sex trafficking, and we're trying to raise $100,000, at the end of the 44 days, which I don't want to say seems impossible. But unfortunately, the first 3 or 4 days that I was doing this, I forgot to mention it. Operation Underground Railroad is a great organization that Hunter developed. And for whatever reason, one of his passions, at least right now, is to fight, child sex trafficking. So I think that's pretty cool. So it's not just for us, selfishly, to self-improve ourselves. I mean, there's actually a cause, there's a reason behind why we're doing this. It's almost like, what are those things, walk a mile in my shoes? One of those things that they do in New York City. I know my brother-in-law, Johnny, Janet's brother, every year does this thing where he puts on a pair of high heel shoes to try to raise money. I can't remember exactly what the cause is, but it's one of those things like we're almost um, sacrificing and torturing ourselves in order to raise this money for other people who need it because they're finding these people and they're relocating them and they're getting them ready to get back, put them back into society. So it's a really good cause. When we get to, know more about it, we'll let you guys know about it. But anyhow, domestic abuse, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Walk a mile in her shoes is domestic abuse. Jana just informed me of. But anyhow, that's kind of what we're doing right now. We're abusing our bodies right now. Not necessarily. I'm just kidding. The cold shower definitely feels like somebody posted. They posted a picture of their shower, which used to be like their sanctuary, but now it's their torture room.
Yeah, dude, I don't. That's one of the things I was looking down through the thing when you invited me, and that was one of the things that I'll be honest with you. I was like, I don't know if I can do that, man. I mean, I know I can do it if I really put my mind to it, But I was like, man, I'm good. I'm gonna watch y'all do it. And I'm gonna sit over here and encourage you guys and root you on from afar.
Cool. I'm surprised you didn't do it. Really.
I know.
But
I know.
you can start at any time.
Oh yeah.
Just so you know that, yeah.
I thought that I was out of the water on January 2nd.
Tomorrow morning, buddy.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
Yeah. So anybody.
We'll talk.
Yeah, anybody can get involved at any time that they want to start the Fearless 44. Let me know. We'll send you an invite and get in it. I mean, if you want to work on yourself, plus while we're doing it, help a cause, fighting child sex trafficking. I mean, it's a big thing. I recently just found out that Route 95, the 95 corridor, is one of the heaviest trafficking areas in not in the world, but at least on the East Coast. I didn't know that. I had no idea. And what's crazy is I was talking to Jim about it, and Jim knew a lot more about it from being, a fireman and knowing all of those people in the state police and stuff like that. He said that he's actually helped shut down some traffic rings. So,
Oh, really? That's cool.
Jim knew a lot more about it than I did. So, kudos to Jim down here at the beach. But yeah, man, all good stuff, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you, dude. I'm down 5 pounds already. I haven't drank a Red Bull in 4 days. I feel good. My energy is through the roof. Like right now, I just feel like, I could go walk 3 miles right now. I feel good. I'm not going to bed as early as I was and wanting to sleep in. Like it was tough for me to get out of bed. Right now, I've been staying up till about 11:30. Up at 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning. Like I feel like I don't need as much sleep. Yeah, so is Route 81, Darrell. Yep, it's crazy, man, how close it is to us. We have no idea. It's like the stuff we see on TV or on the news. We feel like, it's either in another country or, across the, whatever. It's not around us, but it's all around us.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's just, it's all good stuff, man. So. Yep. So I get to stretch my mind, I get to push my body, and I get to grow my legacy. I actually found out what the definition of legacy was today. I mean, I had an idea what it was, but I never really looked up, what it meant. And honestly, Chris, whether if you know it or not, you're creating your legacy right now.
I know it.
You know.
Right.
Yep. So is Vic.
Every day, man. Every day, and that's part of drinking the juice, and that's part of what we're doing. I don't want to say that all these things that we talk about and we preach on these shows, and we do, for work is just because we get paid to do it and we're trying to just do it good.
Right.
I know that at any given point in time, man, I got 8 set of the most important eyes on this earth that are watching me at all times. So if nothing else, I got to do it for them. You know what I mean? I have to set the example on how you should act when people aren't looking, how you should act inside your household, how you should treat people, and if we want to call that legacy, then that's what we can call it. But that's why I do it. You know what I mean? And I know that anytime we have guests on, we talk about or we try to get out of them, what gets them out of bed every day. And I guess you can kind of wrap everyone's answers. You can kind of wrap around the word legacy. You know what I mean? You're trying to
Yes.
to make that impression that is going to last when you're gone. You know, Hunter. You know, he uses the word legacy a lot on his T-shirts. You know, leadership, legacy, all that stuff. And then, if you remember, do you remember the legacy exercise he wanted everyone to do when we were down at RoofCon, where you basically had to write an obituary for yourself? You want to talk about powerful, man? Like, write down. Anyone out there listening, if you want to do a good exercise, man, that's a really good exercise to do. Go ahead and get yourself a piece of paper and just write down your own obituary on how you believe you are going to leave this earth, the impression you're going to leave this earth. And and I'm willing to bet that whatever you write down on that piece of paper is not going to be sufficient enough right now. You know what I mean? So you're going to have something
Yes.
that you can work on, that you can do better, and be honest with yourself too. You know what I mean? Because anyone can sit here and write whatever the hell they want down on a piece of paper, but if you're honest with yourself, guaranteed there's some things that you know deep down inside you can work on to make yourself better. You know, a better contributor to humanity, better in, you know, your children's eyes, your spouse's eyes, your own eyes. You know, to be a better friend, a better father, a better brother, a better employee, a better business owner, whatever, wherever you fit in that chain of things there. But, you know, legacy sums all that kind of stuff up. So it's awesome, man. I really like the direction that Hunter's going, and for as young of a mind as he is, man, because he's younger than me.
Yeah.
You know, how fortunate are we that we have someone like him in our industry, that is willing to just hop in a group chat with a bunch of us unknown people, you know what I mean, and take time out of his day to write inspiring words, reply to your stuff that you put on there, and continually challenge your mind. You know what I mean? Because it's easy for him to just create that thing and just let everyone go, but you know, for him to interact and still challenge you guys and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's really cool, man. That's really cool of him.
It is cool. It is cool, man. I'm glad that we got in it. I feel good. It was a great start to the new year, and you know, something was missing. You know, we talk about, you know, something's missing. Like we got to do something good for the community, but you know, not that, you know, I was so wrapped up in worrying about everybody else. I don't even want to say that or play the martyr, but I was letting my health go. My diet, you know, for the past 12 months or so has not been good. I was doing anything from like 3 to 5 Red Bulls a day, sometimes even more than that on the weekends. Like, that's just not good. And there's things that I got to worry about. I mean, my body can't continue to take that abuse.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not getting any younger. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, man, if I could do something to get time, I would. You know, and I think the closest thing that I can do to try to get time is take care of my body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't get back time, but if I want to add time to my life, then I need to start taking care of my mind, body, and my soul. You know, and why I'm here trying to do this, I want to try to impact and influence as many people around me that I possibly can, because I'll be honest with you, dude, I spent a long time being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want to be uncomfortable. You know, and I don't want the people around me to feel uncomfortable either, man. There was a gentleman that reached out to me today, and I've been talking to him for a couple weeks now, man. And I told him, I was like, listen, man, don't stress, man. We got you.
Yeah.
We got you. Don't stress. I'll be back on Monday. Come check us out on Monday, but just know this. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. You know, and just know that we got you. And what a great feeling that is, that I feel confident enough, you know, to know that the team that we have, that I can say, we got you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
work's not going so great for him, and things like that. And you know, things are piling up, and you know, it just felt good to be able to say to him, you know, he's a great guy, he's a great dude, does great work, you know, and just sometimes, you know, you need to know those right people to
Yeah.
get it to the next level. Do you know what I'm saying? And think about our careers right now. If it wasn't for the people that we knew and the networking that we've done, we honestly wouldn't be where we're at, along with the integrity that we bring to the table, obviously.
Right.
I mean, we're all presented opportunities, but if we don't take advantage of them, okay, in a positive way, not a negative taking advantage of, but in a
Right.
positive way, taking advantage of those situations that was given to us. You know, those people trusted us to work on their homes. These people trusted us to do a good job for them. And you know what we did? We signed those checks that are ass wrote. And you know, and we have to continue to do that. And that's the thing. I wanted to bring this point up of one of the reasons why I'm down here is because one of the biggest reasons is whatever the message is, I want it to be the same here. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that we're doing, that message of authenticity, the integrity, the hard work, the honesty, and the loyalty. I want Jen to know that. That's all I want her to know.
Right.
That's all she's going to know. You know, that this is how we operate. So, however we have to do that, you know, we're going to do that. I know you got my back. I know Vic, Tam, Kim, Jocelyn, Sam, Lauren, I mean, the whole crew, Ben, everybody. So once we get certain things under wraps down here and under control, not that they're out of control, you know, we're going to bring on more people, and all they're going to know is what they know. And that's because that's the way we train them
Yep.
from the beginning. And that's so cool because think about it, Chris. You've been here, what, 5 years?
Coming up on 4.
Coming up on 4? Okay.
Yep.
Well, think about the transformation that's happened in the past 4 years, and the people that we've gone through that weren't drinking the Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? Guess what? We're over that hump now.
Right.
We've got it. We got it figured out the direction we're going now.
Yeah.
Okay, we got this. So anyone new that we bring in, they don't have to be here. They don't have to know what was going on 4 years ago.
Right.
You know, that's the
Yeah.
ripple effect.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, man, you remember how many times we were put in uncomfortable situations where it was like, man, if we get rid of these culture killers, we're never going to make it. We're never going to be able to do it. We can't get rid of the culture killers. How wrong
Right.
were we? You know what I mean?
I know,
Like,
big time.
how wrong of a mindset is that to allow fear, once again, to allow fear to control, you know, the daily activities and not only necessarily the daily activities, but think of how many different people's lives were being impacted by that fear. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, not and didn't allow us to get to this point. If we would stay with that mentality, man, we wouldn't be here right now. Whatsoever.
No way.
You know, like you said, it's up to us to, yes, we have gotten some opportunities, we have networked with the right people, but it still takes action. You know what I mean? Anyone can say, yeah, this is how you got to do it. And to be honest with you, the secret sauce is just hard work, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. Consistency and hard work and just being a good freaking person when no one's looking, man.
Yep.
And
In a nutshell.
right. And the job is to pass that on. Offer that opportunity, like you said with the gentleman you were talking to, offer that opportunity to somebody else now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Pay it forward, you know, whatever you want to call it. Pay that forward to someone else if you're in the position to do it. And hopefully they do the same then. You know what I mean? Maybe he'll, 5 years from now, he's in a position that, he's able to put someone under his wing or, show someone the ropes, or someone's in his inbox saying, hey, man, what do I do here? I'm about to throw my hands in the air. I'm about to give up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
From what we've learned, and from what I've learned watching you, those are the times that you push the gas, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
Those are the times that you push the gas the hardest. When
Yeah.
you're not sure what to do, just push the freaking gas, man. You'll figure it out.
That's right. That's right. I love that analogy because you're right.
Dude, that's how we roll.
You know?
That's how we roll.
That's right. Push the gas. And we always double down, man. I love that phrase. Double down, man. Double down.
Yep.
When times were rough there 2 years ago, when the shit was hitting the fan, dude, we doubled down.
Mm-hmm. It was the best decision that you made, too.
Yep.
The best
For
decision
real.
that you made.
I wouldn't have did it without the team that we have. I
I
felt
agree.
confident enough in the team, and I knew that the team had confidence in us. So at that point in time, failure wasn't an option. Not that there has been failures over the years, but at that point in time, just failure was not the option. Quitting was not the option. At that point in time, it was. Everybody was not everybody, but a lot of people were putting their tails between their legs and running for shelter. But we looked adversity in the eye, man, and we punched it right in the face, Hemi.
Mm-hmm.
We really did, dude. That picture that Colin of being on that roof and his
Oh yeah,
hands are up in the air,
with the sun
dude.
behind him
That
and stuff, you can't even see him. You just see like a shadow figure on the roof with his
yeah,
hands in the
dude.
air.
That
Yeah,
right
dude.
there, that right there motivated me and so much. I mean, he was in it. He was in it to win it, and Gio and a couple Tyler and a couple other whoever whatever happened. But we pulled it out, man. We doubled down. We pulled it out,
Yeah.
and we're still doubling down, dude. We're doubling down. We got the office up 100% operational, and we just gotta duplicate exactly what we've been doing, and stick with the system. The system's gonna identify if there's it's gonna identify quicker if there's a personnel issue or if it's a system issue a lot quicker than the system that we used to have 4 years ago.
Right. Right. Yeah,
Yep,
it's
for
dude, it's
sure.
great. It's great. I'm excited. I'm excited to get with Jen tomorrow. To kind of introduce her to how I do things up here. So
Hmm.
like you said, man, there's only going to be one way to learn um, going forward. And then anyone that's brought into the office down there, they're only going to know one way. They're not going to know the countless trial and error runs that I've been through. Um, you know, Brandon came in and got to see some of the trial and errors, since he's been in here.
Yep.
There's only I think one or two guys that work here right now that really got to see all the trial and error since I started. You know what I mean? Like all the stuff.
Yeah.
So kudos to them for sticking it out and constantly trying new things and being guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Every 6-8 months. When we just figure out that there's a way that we can do it better and more efficient. Because that's the name of the game, man. You got to constantly, be willing to learn and try new things and figure out that, hey, man, there might be a better way to do this. You know what I mean? And I'll be the first to tell you, I constantly every day try to make it easier on the guys that are in the field and the guys
Hmm.
that are running the ship per se. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's important. It's really important. So hopefully hopefully we succeed in everything, and I think that we will. It sounds like Jen's coming along down there, and Pot Roast is hopping on board here and finally realizing that it's a good idea that we're not just crazy.
It really is. All we had to do was, point out a couple solutions to him to his issues that he was having. The timing of it was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But, tonight is a true testament of our hard work and not give up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's think about the first time we tried to go live tonight and we didn't give up. I mean, not that we didn't say, hey, close it down, but I don't think any of us said that we're not going to go live again tonight. Let's just wait till next week. I mean, I don't even think that occurred to us. You guys jumped into action to try to figure out how. And that's what that teamwork does. That's what we're about. It's like, okay, so yep, there was a little hiccup, shut it down, reboot the system, and fire that baby back up, man. Let's do this. So that's a kudos to you guys for stepping in and getting this done. And I know Vic, you weren't feeling very well, and you're kind of on your way back to recovery here, and on top of which you're completing the freaking Fearless 44. You know, being under the weather. That's a true testament to you too, man. And just know that I love you guys, and we wouldn't be down here right now if I didn't think you guys weren't back home taking care of business. And
Yeah.
that's huge, man. That is so huge. Being able to get the right people sitting in the seats on the bus, bro. Like, thank God, thank you. Thank you guys, like for real. I'm
Business
just
as
about
usual.
out of wind. I'm
Yeah.
just about out of wind. I think I shit my wad on the first episode of 106. So I'm really surprised I lasted this long, and unfortunately, I still got to get my 1 hour workout in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the viewers
So,
don't realize we're coming up on 2 hours now.
Yes.
We deleted the first hour, but we're coming up on 2 hours here. So, but yeah, I want to thank the 16 people that are in here right now. Yes, that's right, Alan. I stood at the back of the bus, bro. I need to be able to see everyone doing all the fuck shit. We're not supposed to say the F word anymore. All the freedom shit. We're replacing the F word with freedom. That's what we're doing.
That's right.
So, nah, man. But I appreciate all you guys that are still in here, that religiously watch no matter what. The people that have been
Yes.
hitting my text messages, my inbox on Facebook, letting me know the audio is good. When it cuts out, I think I know before the feed even catches up on my phone sometimes because you guys are just on it, man. I appreciate you
Yep.
guys. I appreciate you guys so much. I got Giovanni, I got people that, some of the employees that work with us, I don't even want to say employees, people that work next to us that are in here. It's 9 o'clock at night. Y'all got to take your asses to bed.
Yeah.
Jana, that's for you.
Yeah.
Anytime that you're about to freedom, just say freedom instead. It's good.
There you go.
It's good stuff.
Love it. I love it, man. Love you guys.
Yeah,
I
love
can't
you
wait
too,
to
brother.
see you guys. And what a great episode. It really was. It was a great episode. And don't forget, next week and the week after that, we have super freaking famous guests coming on. I think we're very fortunate to have these people that are even interested on coming on our show. So we must be
Yes.
doing something right.
Yes.
And I appreciate that very much in the hard work that you two put into this stuff. So,
Yeah.
oh
Next week,
man, what a good.
Next week, I believe,
Yeah.
is Chris Yano. He is with Rhino Strategic Solutions. He actually has a very successful podcast himself. And then the week after that, we have Elizabeth Calzadilla, I think her name is. She has a podcast called Only Roofers. She does Business 411, which is a company that basically helps you plan and organize your business and set you up for success when you're in the construction industry, the roofing industry. She has a very successful podcast. She's probably one of the most successful women in the trades. And she's stationed down there in busy Miami, so we'll be having her on the week after that. So we definitely got some really good ones coming up here in the next 2 weeks, man. So
Hell yeah.
hopefully
Very
we don't
exciting.
have any crazy issues going on. I knocked on some wood for us here.
I'll be honest with you.
We're gonna be
I'm scared. I'm scared.
yeah.
Don't be scared.
Yeah, don't be scared, bro. Don't be scared. We'll figure it out. If that means we got to come
Don't-
down in this freaking
hey.
studio every day between now and then and test this damn thing, then that's what the hell we're gonna do.
And
it's gonna
you
work.
want to know why you're gonna do that? It's because you're scared. So don't lie.
Listen,
Don't lie.
listen. I don't like
Half
seeing
the
Vic's hair
battle.
the way it is right now.
Okay. I wish I could see Vic's big head right now. Damn, I miss that ugly mug.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
Is he coming?
Hide
Let
your
me
eyes,
see
guys.
Where the hell is he? Let
Here
me
he
see.
comes, man.
I
Here he
didn't
comes.
see him
Come
in the
on in here,
reflection over
Victorino.
there.
What's up?
Torino. Hey, buddy.
I can't hear you, but we're good. Hey, real quick, I just want
Good.
to shout out my daughter Tiffany. Tomorrow's her
Oh
birthday.
yes, Tiffany Yori.
Yes. I don't want
Happy
to give
freaking
away.
birthday.
Don't want to give away her age, but I'm starting to feel really freaking old.
Oh boy.
I was doing the math, and she is exactly double the age of my oldest kids.
Oh boy.
Love
That's
you, brother.
great.
That's not
That's
good.
great.
Great
Yeah,
job,
so-
you guys.
Yeah, tires keep killing it down there, bub.
Yep.
We all got your back up here. You're gonna come
Thank
back
you.
to a nice shiny new parking lot, man. Shit's looking good.
Nice.
Wells is killing it. So yeah, everyone enjoy the rest of your week. Hopefully we don't get nailed too bad. Hopefully you can get your ass out of Delaware after Friday. So they don't freak out too much, man. Everyone have a good rest of your week. Thank you guys for tuning in for episode 106.1, episode 106.2. and all the other nonsense that we put you guys through already this year. So
Love it. Love it.
we love you guys. We'll
Stay
see you guys
tuned.
next week. Yeah, stay tuned. We'll see
Yes.
you guys next week for episode 107 with Chris Yano.
Yes, sir.